So we got all of our pieces marked out. Mark them out, as you guys will see, with just lying all the cardboard down, tracing around the cardboard. It's probably not the most accurate, but I thought about doing it dimensionally, which would be more accurate, but when I did that I made a couple mistakes making the cardboard, which is now lying over there. So I figured, you know what, it's not going to be cut that accurately, there's going to be some error, so it's just safer to trace than to make a complete error and make something like an inch too short or something like that. So that's it all marked out, let's get cutting. Very first test fit. I've done all of this cutting and it doesn't fit at all.
Probably won't.
Probably won't, yes. Yep, one piece at a time, it's getting heavier. So we've got our main structural bolts welded in, or just tacked in for now, but we're going to do a tight weld around them when we're done, and then we're going to take some of this offcut plate, drill a big hole in it that's big enough for to slip over with the weld, and then we'll do another really hot weld in there. So this will be welded nicely to the plate, but a relatively small tight weld. Then we're going to have this really hot welded to this and this plate, because that hole is going to be nice and big, so we'll be able to fill the weld in and bond this plate to this plate and the bar, because then on the outside we're probably going to put 2 recovery points where these go, so any pull will go straight through this. So we got our 4 spacer plates with their holes drilled in them, and if we look from this side we can see our holes are just going to be deburred on the top there. So there we are, we got it painted. We got 1 coat of primer and then 2 coats of black. To interrupt putting the bumper on there for a second, just to make myself up some nice little washes. Super easy with a step drill. We're mounting the bumper, the back bolts are going through these seriously hefty steel plates that I had as scrap. So we're using these to go on the back of the bumper because there's a really big hole that the bolts go through, so these are going to be taking all that force. The nuts do sit all, like they're big enough to cover the entire base of that hole, if I can call it that, but they kind of catch on the sharp edge when you're really tightening it up. So just made these washers so we can stick those guys like that, just to give the nut a nice circular surface to rotate on so that it doesn't get stuck. Super easy with a step drill. Nice thing with a step drill, a quick tip is once you've drilled your hole, flip it over, just put the step drill in again, deburrs the back. So yeah, let's get back to putting the bump on. Also, this stuff, anchor lube, really great stuff for drilling holes. I saw this on Adam Booth's channel, A-Bomb79. Really good stuff for drilling holes. It's kind of like thick, but then as it heats up, it becomes more of a liquid. It's really good, like cutting fluid for drilling holes in steel. Should probably take these plastic things off at some point. Bumper's coming off again. A bit more than likely soon, so we'll just do this for now. I can do this without dropping it on my face. And hopefully the bit of paint I put on there doesn't jam it up. Nice. And that is the bumper installed. I think we've got to get our wheel arches back on so we can see what those look like. It's not going anywhere. So yeah, the bumper's done. I want to mainly build a bumper for the car because the plastic one sticks out quite a lot. There is not the greatest departure angle on this vehicle, although it's pretty good. It's compared to more serious off-roading vehicles, it's not really great. So I knew we needed something that could take being dropped on by a rock and that sort of thing. The other main reason for it is the spare tire doesn't fit underneath. So we're going to be putting that's going to be the next step, is to put a spare tire carrier on here. And then, yeah, just to make it a bit more rugged, especially on the back corners, protect it from taking a hit. I think it turned out pretty well. There was a couple of things that I learned that we would do differently if we did it again. One of the most obvious, which you can see, is somehow this ended up about an inch higher than it should have. It should have been about an inch lower. That's not the end of the world. This also needs to go a bit wider because the trailer plug can't open all the way. So we'll just widen it a little bit. And then I got to do the plastic caps for these bolts. These bolts actually aren't in yet because it's got to come off again to do those adjustments there. But this will all be hidden because I'm going to make a 3D printed plastic cover that goes over here. That'll be easy to take on and off. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that yet, but yeah. And then next is the winch that's going in the spare tire well and the spare tire carrier.